Hey everybody, Karen O'Donnell from Imperfect EFT. Thank you for joining me today. Our video is going to be on the fear of death, and a lot of people do have that fear because of specific illnesses that they have, or sometimes it's just generalized feelings that they're going to die in terms of driving, if somebody cuts them off, or just, the foods that they eat. This is a real fear that people have. So I hope this video helps, and EFT is a perfect therapy for this type of fear that people have. So I'm going to talk a little bit about EFT, and if you've seen any of the videos that we've presented, EFT is the emotional freedom technique, and it's also known as tapping. It's a cognitive behavioral therapy where your brain is in fight or flight response for whatever it is, the anxiety or panic that you have. And today we're going to again talk about the fear of death. So if all of a sudden you are in a situation where you feel like you're going to die and there is a threat to you, this is something that can help you. And again, even driving down the street, if somebody cuts you off and you have that immediate response, this is going to help so that you don't have that much of a reaction as to when you had it before. So our brain is trying to save us from whatever the threat is, and this is to help to calm it down so that you don't perceive everything as a threat to your being. So EFT is specific in terms of being able to shut that down, and what we first do is we rate what it is that we feel in our body when it comes to the thought of death. So that is our topic today. So if you think about what it is that you feel when you are thinking about your own death and whether or not it's going to happen by being hit by a bus or, by being mauled by a tiger. It doesn't matter the thought that you have, but if you think about that, notice where it is that you feel it in your body. So do you feel it in your chest? Do you feel it in your shoulders? Do you really tense up? Do you feel it in your head? Do you feel it in your legs? Wherever it is that you feel, note that sensation and what it is. Is it a tightness? Is it a pain? Is it a cold sensation? Is it a complete emptiness? So note where it is and what it feels like, and give it a number on a 0 to 10 scale, 10 being the most distress that you feel when thinking about your fear of death, of you dying. So write all those down, and we're going to get started with our basic EFT. So we start with the side of the hand, and you're just going to gently tap. And as previously I've talked about, it doesn't matter if you use your dominant hand or your non-dominant hand. You can just gently tap on the side, and we're going to do our even though statement. So you can repeat after me: even though I have this fear of death. And then you're going to also repeat after me: I accept that's how I feel right now. We're going to do that a second time. Even though I have this fear of death in my body, I accept that's how I'm feeling right now. And we're going to do it for the third time. Even though I have this fear of death, I accept that's how I feel right now. So the next part is just going to go in between the eyebrows, right above the bridge of the nose, and you're just going to say this fear that I have of death. On the side of the eye, this fear that I have of death. Under the eye, this fear of death. Under the nose, this fear of death. Under the lower lip, this feeling of death. On the chest, this fear that I have of death. Under the arms, this fear that I have of death. On top of the head, this fear that I have of death. You're going to take a deep breath and let it go. And just gently notice where that sensation was that you had the fear before. And did it shift at all? Did it go down? Did it go up? Did it stay the same? Whatever you have as that sensation, I want you to write that down and give it a number again. If the number hasn't come down to a comfortable level, that round that we just did can be repeated as many times as you need to, and you can just say the same things over and over again. So you can repeat what we just did in that round, And most often it does need to happen a couple of times because this is a deep-seated fear that a lot of people have. So I'm going to do another round, but I'm going to change it. So again, if you feel that you need to do the round that we just did, please do it again as many times as you need to. But we're going to do a little turnaround. So when you get to the point where you feel like your number is down to maybe a 1 or 2, we're just going to do our last round. So I'm going to go back to the eyebrow point and I'm going to say, this fear of death. And then on the side of the eye, this fear that I have of death is still in my body. Under the eye, it is safe to feel this way, this fear of death. Under the nose, but it is safe for my body to let this go. Under the lower lip, I can let this fear of death go. On the chest, my body can let this fear of death go. Under the arms, this fear of death is okay to let go. On top of the head, my body is letting this fear of death go. And take a deep breath and let it go. And again, notice what your sensations are. The important thing about EFT is that whatever the experience you are feeling in terms of the driving, feeling so tense that you're going to get in a crash, the things around you haven't changed, but how you feel about them has. So you don't have to be in that panic state. You can be more calm about driving. You can be more calm about going into a stressful work situation, and you can look at things differently and your body can react differently. So I really hope that this video helps you, and I would love for you to comment that if this is something that has helped you, please share it with other people. Comment, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm going to be creating more videos to help people with their fears and phobias, as well as just the general anxieties of your work environment. So I hope that you join me for future videos, and I will see you next time. Thank you.